Footy Scoops
in the six.
Yes.
Well,
Najjah Calibur.
Mahit Letang.
Footy Scoops.
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
TFC time.
TFC time, man.
Listen.
You remember that show? You remember that show back in the days? That was Growing Pains. That's how I feel about this right now. Yeah. Growing Pains, bro.
Growing pains.
Man,
Yes.
listen.
Yes.
Again, they played. It was a home match.
Yes.
And we lost 3-1 to Sporting KC.
I want to speak to that specifically, though. I want to speak to that specifically.
Growing pains.
Growing pains. Actually, you put that very well. Growing pains. Listen, it's gonna happen. It's not all gonna go our way all the same time. That's gonna happen. But what we cannot have happen, is flipping the supporters leaving in the way we do. We have to make BMO a fortress. It's that simple.
Right.
BMO Field has got to be a fortress.
So explain a little bit about that leaving,
so
that people get some context.
Yeah, because obviously, and I get the frustration. I get it obviously flipping. Could we look flat? TFC look flat. TFC look un-TFC the way that we want to. TFC looked like TFC has looked before. Do you mean? Which people are like, oh, you don't really want to see that again.
Right.
Do you mean?
Right.
I've been a very, very vocal supporter of Herdman.
Advocate, yeah.
Advocate of Herdman, for sure. So, seeing tons of folks kind of just walking out and kind of giving it up, you mean? Mate, it's.
No, I know. We gotta stick with it. We gotta stick with it. We can't be.
Got the mineral to see it.
Wayside fans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You gotta stick with them and kind of get this thing popping. I mean, to be fair, I'm just gonna go over the stats here for everybody.
It was woeful. Stats are woeful.
Well, they're not really woeful the shots on target are woeful.
Yeah.
Right, but I mean, against it was 12. They had 12 shots. So it was 12 shots for TFC, 17 for Sporting KC.
Yeah.
So we had 12 shots. They had 17. We only had 2 on target.
But this is it,
right? They had 10 shots on target.
Yes.
Right.
So we're not looking clinical. Not looking like we're looking to or able to kind of turn this around. Right. So I get it. We looked woeful.
Yeah.
I mean, TFC looked again like a TFC team from in the past.
Right.
But at the same time, these are new days, new dawn, growing pains.
Growing pains. And that's it. And
Stick with it.
And sometimes it's bad habits might creep back in.
Yes.
For whatever reason they just didn't we weren't on the front foot at the beginning of the match.
Yeah.
And this translates into momentum, right? And either momentum for the opposition or for you. So at the end of the day, I mean, it's the mindset and getting everyone going. John Herdman did speak on it and said this will never happen again in BMO. And I rate him for that because he's making a statement and he's drawing the line.
You have
right?
to, 100%.
So some people will be like, okay, we didn't start off that good, whatever. But he's actually saying, it's unacceptable.
Yeah.
So I appreciate him, letting everybody know that this is unacceptable and we're drawing a line there.
Yeah.
Because I mean, listen,
it's your home stadium.
Yeah.
So regardless of who you're playing against at home,
like you said, it's supposed to be a fortress.
You're at home. You have to defend that. That's your turf.
Yeah.
Do you mean? So you can't not get out of the gates.
Well, I mean, we have to give a shout to Gavron, the keeper, man. He was all over the place. Reefer Don said it. He said Spider-Man, man. Man was, again,
everywhere.
10 shots on target. Yeah. I mean, listen, the score was 3-1. It could have been worse at the end of the day from that standpoint.
Pulling them stops out the way he's pulling them out?
Yeah, man.
Yes.
But I mean, it's just interesting. I mean, possession, and that's the thing about these games. You can look at stats, but it doesn't necessarily tell the tale of the match, right? So 62% possession to 38% possession, 617 passes to 384. So we had possession. We had shots, but we didn't have shots on target. Weren't able to unlock in the final third of the pitch to create quality opportunities.
Yes.
And this is where I mean, it says it all, right?
Now, and the thing as well, obviously, TFC carrying injuries, Insigne's going to be out.
Insigne's got,
right? However, you have to fill these voids, and there's depth enough to fill the voids.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the players that are coming in to fill those voids have to fill those voids. So, I don't want to discount and call it just an off day, right? Because again, not every match is going to be a massive win. Again, you're going to have flipping just battling draws. You're going to have battling wins as well.
Right.
You're going to have battling losses.
Right.
This was neither of those. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
this is neither of those. This was a flat match. Again, for the manager to come out and say, listen, this cannot happen again. That's how woeful it was.
Well,
right?
I know, and besides all of that, I mean, with all this, I mean, so we didn't score until the 7th minute of added time, right? So 97th minute, shout out to Jonathan Osorio, you know, was able to put
if the players are still going in the 90th plus minutes, the supporters have to keep going too. It's that simple. No, it's that simple.
Yeah, yes.
They have to keep going too.
No, they do. They really do. But that being said, I mean, TFC right now, I mean, we're in 5th place, but we're really only 2 points off for the top of Cincinnati. So with all this happening, right? Vancouver, it's only one game. We have a big season still.
Yep, Vancouver up next.
We have Vancouver. You know, Vancouver is looking really good this year in Vancouver. So they're going out to the West Coast.
Going out West Coast.
But yeah, 2 points back right now. We had 10 points. Cincinnati has 12, and we have Inter Miami, so other teams with 11 points. So, I mean, at this early stage in the game, we're still jockeying, and like I said, we're gonna have these growing pains, and learning to deal with these things. But it's gonna have to we're gonna have to just figure out a way to get a bit more creative in the final third, so that we can, you know, take this possession and do something with it, right? So
it's gotta be clinical. You have to be clinical. I mean, you can't play with your food. We talked about this already.
Yeah, you can't play with your food, but I mean, at the same time, too, it's also moving into spaces, you know, a movement off the ball, you know, different things. I mean, obviously, you could tell they were giving an effort, but it's just like I said, in that final third, what are we going to do, you know, to get these, to create these opportunities?
When you're creating all those opportunities, then one thing that you do is you take the game out of the referee's hands. Because
well, yeah, I mean, there could be some questionable offsides.
Come on.
Questionable. But like you're right. You take the game in your hands and you do what you got to do.
Absolutely.
And keep it moving. But listen, all in all, you know, I mean, like we said, we know it's growing pains. We're expecting this.
Only way is up.
TFC, you know what it is. We're going to keep this thing going, man. Let's go. We're looking forward to the summer and looking forward to going on a big run.
Hold Herdman to his words. Hold Herdman to his words. He said this will not happen again.
Okay.
So from a supporter standpoint as well, listen, that mass exodus, that can't happen. Really and truly, that can't happen.
No, we can't. Right? We can't be leaving on them. We can't be dipping on them. You know what I'm saying?
Can't be leaving the team, man.
I know you want to get out, trying to get out the stadium early, but listen, man, we got to stick with the club, man.
You know, truthfully, even that mindset as well. People are like, oh, you want to beat traffic, blah blah. Listen. When you go into a match, book out the day. What else you got going on? You mean?
Yeah.
Book out the day. Book out the day. There's nothing else after that. You can't have X, Y, Z, blah blah.
Right.
Beating for what? Beating traffic
and again, and this is early, right? It's not like we were in land base all year and now you're like, you know, I'm fed up with this. Or getting killed 7-0. You know what I mean? I get that. You know what I mean? That's like, you know what? You have to make a statement to say we are not proud. We're not happy with what we're seeing.
But it looked like.
Yeah.
TFC from the past. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, yeah.
So from that perspective, I get it. It's like, yo, like this again. So I get it from that perspective, but this is not this again. Trust me, Herdman's the guy. Herdman is the guy.
Well,
Herdman is
I'm looking forward to us developing, and I'm looking forward to see what we can do in the playoffs. And I'm speaking that talk already. So
this is it. All right, this is it. Hey, listen, man. Why not? Talk the talk.
Yeah.
Talk the talk.
Well, you gotta have goals, right? You gotta have goals, man. So let's keep this thing moving. You know what it is. TFC.
This is it. This has been your TFC Toronto FC Footy Fix.
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
Boom.
Ha ha.
6, 6, 6, 6.